braved the lines, and you're here, so we appreciate your patience, and we're sorry that it was a little bit hectic, but that just tells you how popular Miss Regina is, so we are so excited to be having this conversation today. I first want to just stop. We said Spelman, so let me just hear it one more time. Any Spelmanites out there? And then just because I have the stage, are there any Deltas out there? No, but really, all alumni from HBCUs and fraternities and sororities are really important for our community. Let's hear it, let's hear it, let's hear it. Woo! So that community support is so important. As Chris mentioned with our sound sessions, it's really important to make sure we're giving back to the community. And JBL, in the last 75 years we've been around, we've been about amplifying sound, right? And if you've been to a concert, you've been to a movie theater, you've seen our speakers, you've heard it. But what we realized 3 or 4 years ago is we really needed to be about more than just sound. And what we started doing is talking about amplifying voices and making voices heard. And sound sessions is one of the way we do that. And in the spirit of that new positioning, the spirit of what we've embraced as a brand, we want to make sure that we're having conversations and amplifying voices that aren't always heard. So in that spirit, we're going to talk today to Regina Hall. As you know, she has a new movie coming out, which we can't wait to see. Is everybody excited for the movie? And so I'm going to host this conversation, but she's an amazing actress. She's now an owner of a production company, and she's just an all-around amazing person. So let's bring out Regina Hall. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Oh, I was mic'd backstage. I had no idea. Oh. I forgot.
Somebody did their job.
Yes.
So we were talking a little bit before. This is your first trip to Martha's Vineyard?
This is my first time. It's quite lovely, actually. It's beautiful. I've never been here. I've heard about it so much, but it's quite beautiful.
That's great. So a lot of people in our audience, because they're here and they're lined up outside as well, know about your career. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your career and maybe some of the high points that really were turning points in your career?
So I was a streetwalker. No, I'm joking. Age 10, no. No, actually, I actually started a little bit later. I was in graduate school getting my master's in journalism, my first semester, and my father passed away. And my friend was like, maybe here's a way you could earn some extra money, and I started acting, and then I was bad or untrained, and then I decided to go back to school, and then so my first film was a small independent, but my first film that I actually booked was The Best Man. Yeah.
And that was a good one.
Yeah, and it's funny because back then, this is before email, so they would Xerox your sides. And I would pick them up in this bin after hours, and I wasn't at a point where they gave me the whole script, so you had to figure out like everything from like the little sides, and so I didn't know who was in the movie. I didn't know anything about it, and I was like very excited just to audition. So when I got it and found out, it was really much more surprising than I thought.
That's amazing. So I know in my career, finding people who are your supporters and your mentors are so important. Is there someone who's been pivotal in your career, either in a decision that you've made or in a course that helped you pick your course along the way?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not going to cry, but I will say pivotal was my mom, who passed away a year and a half ago. And thank you all. I know I'm not gonna cry, but she's been so supportive. She's supportive. She still is. And then I've had an incredible agent, Andrew Rogers. And I will tell you something about an agent is when they see something special, they tell you. And it was my agent actually who was like, I want you to read Honk For Jesus. I think this is a very special film. And so he's been very instrumental in working with him and working together. And so I would definitely have to say him.
I love that. So, you know, it's interesting, as I talked a little bit about JBL.
And my pimp. No, I'm joking. No. Sorry. Sorry, mama. No. Okay, go ahead.
No, so as you think about, you know, part of our mission is reaching back, right? And
yes.
making sure we're reaching back. When you think about your production company, are there ways now that allows you to give back that maybe you haven't been able to before, or projects that you think you're going to take on that allow you to have a voice that you didn't have before?
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that you get from experience is you gain a little bit of wisdom. You know, some of it is luck and instinct, and but it gives you an opportunity to partner, to also help support, to also help, you know, maybe raise money. You know, there's so many avenues that films need to actually make it to screen and television as well. And then also to writers to get it, you know, have opportunities. So I think it helps in a myriad of ways, and some of them which you don't even know. You kind of learn as you go along. And so, and I think that's been the exciting part of it. And I was very lucky with Honk For Jesus to be able, you know, to work with the twins, but also they allowed RH Negative to see its first time on screen. Y'all gonna actually see it. So,
and RH Negative is the name of your production company.
Yes. RH Negative, which stands for the rhesus factor, of your blood type, whether you're positive or negative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So as you think about the production company, are there projects that you can tell us about that are coming up, or?
I'm gonna do adult films. No, I'm gonna stop.
I'm gonna stop asking questions.
No, let me just say, no, I'm not. But no, you know, I think that's the exciting part, is there's no specific thing. It's just good material, you know, interesting material. You know, sometimes, you know, that's what I keep bringing up Honk For Jesus, but I think that's what I love. I love blends of genres too, that, you know, where someone can take a subject matter or a topic or a story and infuse comedy and drama, because I believe life is so much of that. And so I don't, you know, I'm not looking for anything specific. I mean, I think you are able to support something that you're passionate about. So things I respond to, or we respond to.
That's really good. And one of the other questions we were thinking about is, do you have advice that you would give to someone trying to get into Hollywood? As you mentioned, your career has been a long career and successful one, and you're now really seeing some great success. Yeah. But were there, you know, are there just bits of advice you would say to someone who's looking to start into this industry?
Well, you know, I always say that everyone's career has its own journey. You know, first thing I always say is don't look at someone else's, because yours may be meteoric or slow. Mine was slow and steady. And so, you know, there are times where it's frustrating, and but you're doing it for the love of it, you know. So I always say, like, let me just say this. I was giving somebody advice one time. This is why I'm hesitant. They were like, they don't do that anymore. I was like, my advice was antiquated. I was like, they don't. I was like, go to Sam French, and there's a book. And the book is like, it was like a guide to all the ages. They were like, Sam French is closed. I was like, soon I'm gonna be like, if you wanna get into silent films, you listen to me. You listen to me now. But I will say, the great thing is this is a time with, there's a lot more access to agents and information, I would believe, you know, through social media, through YouTube, through writing your own stories. But I will say this, I think you should shoot for the stars and then settle for what you get, but just aim there. Like, you know, you might not get it, but if you aim there, then what you'll be like, we did pretty good. We like right there. We made it to the clouds. Yeah, you're close. Yeah, exactly.
Now, throughout your career, you've done a lot of genre, right? Horror, comedy, romance.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite that you like doing, or it's?
I love them all. I appreciate storytelling. You know, I appreciate watching storytelling and being able to bring stories to life. So for me, they all come from the same space. You know, how do you make a character? What's the humanity, right? I mean, even in the, you know, best and worst of us, there is some sense of humanity. So I always try and find that, no matter what that is. So for me, I love them all, because, you know, I love the idea that somebody was sitting somewhere and had an idea in their head and put that idea onto paper, and then there's a chance to literally take that paper and bring it to life, and then you get to bring that to screen, and then hopefully somebody sees it.
To tell you a secret, we're a little worried that there weren't going to be people here tonight.
I was.
But that is not the case, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So talking about that, about the movie that's coming out, tell us a little about Honk For Jesus, like the idea and what you found so interesting about the movie.
Well, first of all, the title. I mean, the first thing my agent said, I have the script. I was like, Honk For Jesus. Save your soul, what is it? And he's like, I like it. I think it's interesting. And I was like, okay, I'll read it. And it's a touching story. And it's, you know, I love that it's like a peek into a world. There's no judgment. I love movies that leave me wanting to discuss, wanting to talk about it, wanting, you know, when I think about it. And so when I read a script and I'm left thinking about it that same day, the next day, then it's really wonderful. And I just thought the way they took this story and the way they were able to make these characters that were bigger than life, they kind of broke it down smaller and smaller until you just got to the, ooh. It's like a heartbeat. So you just got, you know, to the heart of what it is to be human, and that's there. It's different for different people, but I don't know. For me, I was really taken with many things and thoughts and commitments and you know, religion, a lot of things I walked away thinking about.
And if you think about the audience, is there something that you want them to take away from that movie, or do you think that they're going to take away from it, other than don't marry a pastor?
No. I think every person will take away something different. I mean, I think all things evolve. I think, you know, maybe we might look at the evolution of the church and where we are now. I think many things, and I don't know. I hope everyone has a different opinion. Y'all should tell everybody to see it, though. If you don't like it, don't say nothing. You just you don't have to say anything. Just act like you didn't see it. Yes.
Oh, right.
Go see it in theaters. It's okay. You can go to a matinee. It's all right. But the support in theaters is really great, and it's wonderful to see a film, you know, like this, that's not a big, giant Marvel movie, you know, have a story that I think is going to resonate with a lot of viewers of all ages. You know, so for y'all over 30, not like me.
Unlike you. As we think about, so I'm going to shift gears just a little bit back to the environment that we work in, and equity is not always a thing that, especially as a Black female, you see, you know, are there ways, either through your company or that you've experienced, where you've been able to sort of level that playing field a bit, whether it was with your experience or the way you approached a challenge?
Yeah, I think you know, there's a certain point where once you really feel what you are worth, you have to be willing to walk away. you know, and you have to say, you know, I know my value is this. And you have to walk away if you do not feel that you are valued. And that's not always just about money. You know, sometimes, you know, it depends on, you know, the budget of the film. I mean, there's a lot of things, and you want to support films of all. But, you know, I think it's important for every artist to feel valued. And if you don't feel valued, don't do that on the second or third. I mean, wait a while. I don't want y'all passing on film number 2 talking about Regina Hall said. I didn't say that. But once you do, there is a point where you certainly have to know that, so that you will know, because you in essence, you are also teaching an industry how to treat you, to treat you as a woman and treat you as a black woman.
And that's interesting, because that's any industry,
that's
right?
Any industry.
That's everywhere,
yeah.
Right? Which is critical.
Even on them streets.
Here we go back to the streets.
I know my publicist is somewhere like, God.
I'm trying to steer her away.
I know, she's trying. I keep going back.
So, and we're going to have just a few minutes for Q&A, if there are a couple questions, so start thinking about that. But as you think about skills and qualities that you can look for, so as you say, knowing your value, right? As you think about your production company or people that you've hired, what are some of the values that you look for in someone?
Well, you know, I think someone who's committed to learning, you know, it's an ever-evolving process, a wonderful work ethic, patient, you know, it's not something that happens overnight. You deal with a lot of people, you know, I always look for someone who's pleasant, you know, I want people to we work a lot of hours, and you work with a lot of people, and directors, producers have so much to do. They have pressure from the people who put the money in, you know what I mean? There's so much responsibility that you want someone who's able to help, there's no divisiveness. You want someone who's a team player, you know what I mean? And who can also work autonomously, so they both go together. So I think just those things. And someone who's, you know, easy to work with. Or if they're hard to work with, they're great. You know, you want amazing, right? It's got to be worth it. So, you know, every person has a different skill set, but, you know, as long as it's cohesive.
Right. Okay. Now, we have one of our interns, our HBCU students, Jasmine, is she here? So we're going to start a bit of the Q&A.
Yes,
so from Sound Sessions, part of the Sound Sessions, you can win a scholarship. And they're blind scholarships, which means they go in, you don't see anybody's name. This wonderful young woman has won it twice in a row because she was blind, so.
My question is about imposter syndrome within the entertainment industry, especially as a black woman. Have you ever experienced it? And if you have, how did you overcome it?
Is that like an internet word? Like, just break it down for me now.
Like when...
I think, give it to me.
It's kind of like when you're in a room and you're feeling like, do I really belong here? Am I supposed to be here?
Oh. Yeah. I'm about to use that. Make it my own. You know, I always think it's important to notice how you feel and then work on your self-worth. I mean, I think that there's moments we all feel that. You know, we all feel like, ooh, you know, it takes a second. Sometimes, you know, here is a little behind where life is, and you have to catch up. But, you know, you have to remind yourself, and that's not done in a day, but I mean, of course that exists. What did we call it something? I was like imposter syndrome.
I felt like we didn't fit in.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's just like, I hope I fit in, but now it's like imposter syndrome. I like that. Imposter syndrome. I like. Right. I like that one. I like that. Good.
So we're to keep going so we can get to the movie as well. Are there any other questions that we'll take? Just a few. I don't know what the time is, so. I think back, yes.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. You've had amazing experiences on screen and played many characters. Which character in which film do you think transformed you the most as a Black woman throughout your career?
I know. Honk, honk. No. You know, it's going to sound like a basic answer, but every film transforms you, right? Because in every project you learn something, but then, you know, you're also constantly evolving and aging yourself, right? So you're at this place in your life, and then, you know, you have a project that really you respond to, and it speaks to you because of where you are. So it goes hand in hand. But I mean, it's like having a child. Even though I know it was my mother's favorite, but
That's funny, mine too.
yeah, right. But I was the only girl. I am the only girl. But I would say they're all specific because it's not really even if a project's bad, you learn from it, right? So you learn from your greatest work and you learn from your worst work, and I think that's what's so important is when you have an opportunity to work, you learn. Like it's like I still learn. I learned from Honk For Jesus so much, you know. I know it's really hard to pick. It's really hard because it's like, you know, you'd have asked me years ago and I would have said one film, and now I don't know, but you know, so I really can't pick one. They all feel like babies and versions of me. They all feel like versions of Regina.
One or two other quick ones, and then, because we do want to get to the movie. Can you go back there?
Hi, I was thinking about some of your more recent roles, and one that stands out to me is your character from 9 Perfect Strangers, which I thought you did so brilliantly, which was such a beautiful blend of like drama and comedy at the same time. And I was just wondering, how do you know when the role is for you? Like when you get all of these projects, how do you know, yes, this is one that speaks to me and I want to go for it?
Well, I usually read something, to be honest, and then I'll like it, and then, you know, I'll say, okay, yes, I'd love to do it, and then I panic, and I go, why did I say yes? I'm going to ruin the film, and I certainly did that with 9 Perfect Strangers.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, because what happened with 9 Perfect Strangers is I only had the first 2 or 3 episodes, and it was all I got at the time they made the offer. And I was like, oh, yeah, I could do this. As a matter of fact, I thought, oh, okay, well, see, they want somebody Black in it. And I actually didn't think she did a lot. And I was like, okay, well, she'll be sweet. And I was like, so after I got in and I was in Australia, they sent all the scripts. And I was like, oh my goodness, she's out of her mind. And, you know, you have to craft a role. And so you're always like, gosh, where do I, but you want someone to care for her and to know what it feels like to be a woman who gave her life to someone and family and be scorned. But, you know, like she is over there attacking people, you know. But maybe we all have an ounce, a pinch of that, you know, a touch of that, and we root. So, you know, for me, I search. I mean, it's like usually it's quite a journey, you know, because I do want people to have compassion for the characters, whether it's Carmel or even Brenda from Scary Movie. And I know, because I want people to think, well, who would be friends with Brenda? She's she's a terrible friend. But I want people to be like, but I want to be Brenda's friend, even though you don't know why. You know, like, I read 9 Perfect Strangers and I was like, why hasn't someone sent Carmel home? She She's at the wrong place. But I want people to care and to find like, oh, but and so I that's probably the hardest part to search for that, because it's very subtle, and it has to be an authentic thing that you find to play in the character that resonates with you, so that it doesn't feel like you're acting.
Right. So you're in there. I think it's about time to introduce the directors for the movie and get to the movie. Is everybody excited for that? So would you do the honors to?
So I just want to say, this film was conceived and written again and again by Adamma, who is also our director, and her twin Adanne produced this film, and this is just the beginning. They are such smart and creative and provocative filmmakers, and I have to say that I am honored, really, to be able to be a part of their first feature. And I was so scared, because I said, Lord, if I do this movie and it don't sell at Sundance, I'm gonna feel so guilty. And so when it sold, I was like, yes. So I'm so happy that the world will get to see their work and really experience who they are. So please welcome Adamma and Adanne the Evo twins. You're so funny.
And also Spelmanites as well.
Is this, the microphone's on? Yeah. Okay, cool. I usually project, so I'll be a little quieter. But I'm Adamma, Evo. I wrote and directed this crazy little movie. And my identical twin sister.
I'm Adanne. I produced Honk For Jesus, Save Your Soul.
And this is bananas. I'm like, the fact that basically every seat is taken here is wild. It's far past my bedtime, so thank y'all for being here. But I'm really excited to be experiencing this with y'all. I made it for Black folks, so this is a love letter.
We want the white folks to come see
yes,
it
tell
too.
you. I mean, I made it for Black folks. That usually brings the white folks. Yeah. Yes, tell them to go pay for it in theaters, please. But this is a love letter to, our culture and a lot of subculture, and it's also a critique of that culture and all of the complicated feelings in between. And I just hope y'all enjoy it. I don't know. This is bananas. We're 31.
I just want to say what Regina said about shooting for the stars. Manifest what y'all want, y'all, because
for real.
when we met with Daniel Kaluuya's company who helped me produce this, when we met with Daniel, he said, so who do y'all see as the lead character? Who do y'all see as Trinitie? And we said, a Regina Hall type. And Regina's in our film, y'all, so. Manifest it. But in that vein, we want to thank 59%, which is Daniel Kaluuya's production company, Monkey Paw, which is Jordan Peele's production company, which helped the film sell at Sundance, y'all.
Black people, looking out for Black people.
Also, Focus Features and Monkey Paw, who are distributing.
Peacock.
And Peacock,
It's a
who
lot of
are
people on this.
distributing the film. And also our mama, who's in the crowd. Yes. Mommy, thank you for letting me back out of going to law school and go to film school instead. UCLA, I did go to UCLA for graduate school. It was a very stressful situation in our house when I decided I wasn't going to do it. But it all worked out. Thank y'all. Thank you, everyone.
So thank everyone for coming today. Amazing women. Let's give it to them. This is absolutely amazing. And we're going to break down the stage, and the movie will come on in just a few minutes. Thank you.